Hello, language learners. Welcome to another insightful episode of the IELTS Secrets podcast, your go-to resource for mastering the English language and achieving top scores in the IELTS exam. I'm your host, Neil, an English instructor from picturesque New Zealand, here to guide you through the intricacies of the speaking section. Today, our focus is on the topic of accommodation. Question 1. Describe the house where you lived when you grew up. When describing the house where you were brought up in your childhood, it's essential to provide a detailed and structured response. Here's our template. Well, as far as I remember, and then you should describe the appearance or location of the house. And then one of the most important features of my house was, and here you need to highlight a significant aspect such as size or amenities. Next, what made my house comfortable was, and then you should mention a specific factor that contributed to comfort. Next, all the rooms in the house were, and then you should describe the layout or arrangement, which, and here you should explain how it added to the overall appeal or functionality. Now let's listen to a great Band 9 speaking response based on the same structure that you have just analyzed.
Describe the house where you lived when you grew up.
Well, as far as I remember, my childhood home was a cozy cottage nestled in the countryside, surrounded by lush greenery. One of the most important features of my house was its spacious backyard, where my siblings and I spent countless hours playing games and exploring nature. What made my house comfortable was its warm and inviting atmosphere, filled with family photos and cherished memories. All the rooms in the house were interconnected, which allowed for easy movement between spaces and promoted a sense of togetherness among family members.
All right, question 2. Do you prefer sharing the house where you are living now, or do you prefer to live on your own? Expressing your preference regarding living arrangements requires clear and concise reasoning. Our template assists you in presenting your thoughts and supporting arguments effectively. Here is our template. Although sharing the house with someone has a number of benefits, I prefer to live on my own for 2 reasons. Firstly, and here you should state the first reason and provide an example. Secondly, if I were to live with, and then you should describe a potential roommate or housemate, I would, here you need to mention a drawback or challenge. For instance, and then you should share a personal experience or anecdote. Now let's listen to a Band 9 speaking response based on the same structure.
Do you prefer sharing the house where you are living now, or do you prefer to live on your own?
Although sharing the house with someone has a number of benefits, I prefer to live on my own for 2 reasons. Firstly, living alone allows me to have complete autonomy over my living space and schedule, thus providing a sense of independence and freedom. Secondly, if I were to live with flatmates, I would need to navigate potential conflicts or disagreements over household responsibilities or lifestyle preferences. For instance, 2 years ago, I shared an apartment with a friend, and while we got along well, there were occasional disagreements about cleaning duties and noise levels, which created tension at times.
Question 3. Do you think it's better to share a house with friends or with someone you don't know? When comparing living arrangements, it's essential to weigh the pros and cons of each option. Our template guides you in articulating your preferences and justifying your choice. Here is our template. Well, obviously, given the 2 options, I would prefer to live with my close friends or family because, and then you should state the reasons for your preference. Next, however, if I were to live with, and then you should describe a potential roommate or housemate, and then I would have to put with, And here you should mention a potential drawback or challenge. For instance, here you should provide a great example. Now let's listen to a great Band 9 speaking response based on the same structure.
Do you think it's better to share a house with friends or with someone you don't know?
Well, obviously, given the two options, I would prefer to live with my close friends or family because it fosters a supportive and harmonious living environment where mutual understanding and shared experiences contribute to a sense of camaraderie and belonging. However, if I were to live with someone I don't know, I would have to put up with potential differences in lifestyle or habits, which could lead to misunderstandings or conflicts. For instance, living with a stranger might entail adjusting to their schedule or preferences, which could require compromise and adaptability.
Perfect, dear listeners. You've now equipped yourselves with structured templates to navigate discussions on accommodation choices with ease and confidence. Remember to incorporate these templates into your responses and watch as your speaking scores soar. Until next time, keep striving for excellence and remember, every word spoken is a step closer to success.